Good morning, friends. We're going to read some more of our chapter book, Pirates Past Noon by Mary Pope Osborne. So far we've found out the title of our book is Pirates Past Noon. Who our characters are Jack, Annie, the green parrot that Annie calls Polly, and the pirates. Where, or our setting, we started out in the Frog Creek Woods. Jack and Annie got to the beach in the treehouse, and now they're on a boat with the pirates. When 300 years ago, in the pirate time, where we left off, Jack and Annie had been caught by the pirates. The captain pirate, wants Jack to read a map for him so that he can find Kid's treasure, because the pirate can't read. Jack read it, but it didn't make sense, so the pirates put Jack and Annie onto the boat, and now they're headed out to sea. So let's find out what happens next. Chapter 6, The Whale's Eye. The rowboat tossed from side to side. The waves were huge. Salty spray stung Jack's eyes. He felt seasick. "Hold her steady," shouted Captain Bones. He pointed out to the sea. "Or we'll be meat for those evil brutes." Dark fins cut through the water. Sharks. One zoomed right by the boat. Jack could have reached out and touched it. He shuddered. Soon the rowboat pulled alongside the ship. The air was filled with wild fiddle music and bagpipes playing, and Jack heard jeers, shouts, and ugly laughter. "Hoist 'em aboard," Captain Bones shouted. Jack and Annie were hauled onto the deck of the ship. The ship creaked and moaned. It rolled from side to side. Ropes flapped and snapped in the wild wind. Everywhere they looked, Jack and Annie saw pirates. Some were dancing, some were drinking, many were fighting with swords or their fists. "Lock 'em in my cabin," Captain Bones ordered. A couple of pirates grabbed Jack and Annie and threw them into the ship's cabin, then locked the door. The air inside the cabin was damp and sour smelling. A shaft of gray light came through a small round window. "Oh man," said Jack, "we've got to figure out how to get back to the island." "So we can get into the treehouse and go home," said Annie. "Right," said Jack. Suddenly he felt very tired. How would they ever get out of this mess? "We better examine the book," he said. He reached into his pack and pulled out the pirate book. He flipped through the pages. He looked for information to help them. "Look," he said. He found a picture of pirates burying a treasure chest. This might help. Together they read the words under the picture. Captain Kidd was a famous pirate. It is said that he buried a treasure chest on a deserted island. The chest was filled with gold and jewels. "Captain Kidd," said Jack. "So that's the kid that Bones keeps talking about," said Annie. "Right," said Jack. Annie looked out the round window, and Captain Kidd's treasure is buried somewhere on that island, she said. Jack took out his notebook and pencil. He wrote, "Captain Kidd's treasure on island." "Jack," said Annie. "Shh, wait a minute," he said. "I'm thinking." "Guess what I see," said Annie. "What?" asked Jack. He looked back at the book. "A whale." "Neat," he said. Then he looked up. "A whale? Did you say a whale?" "A whale. A huge whale, as big as a football field." Jack jumped up and looked out of the window with her. "Where?" asked Jack. All he could see was the island and stormy waves and shark fins. "There," said Annie. "Where? Where?" "There." The island is shaped like a giant whale. Oh man, whispered Jack. Now he could see it. See the whale's back? Said Annie. Yep, the slope of the island looked like the back of a whale. See his spout? Said Annie. Yep, the palm tree that held the house looked like the spout of a whale. See his eye? Said Annie. Yep, a big black rock looked like the eye of the whale. The gold doth lie beneath the whale's eye, whispered Jack. Wow. Chapter 7, Gales a-blowin'. So the treasure must be under that rock, said Annie. Right, said Jack. Now we just have to get back to the island. We'll show Captain Bones where the treasure is. Then while all the pirates are digging, we'll sneak up to the treehouse. And make a wish to go home, said Annie. Right. Jack poked his head out of the round window of the cabin. Captain Bones, sir, he shouted. The pirates took up their cry. Captain Bones, Captain Bones. Hey, came a horrible voice. Captain Bones stuck his ugly face through the window. His good eye glared at Jack. What do you want, lubbers? We're ready to tell the truth, said Jack. Go ahead, growled Captain Bones. We know where Captain Kidd's treasure is. Where? We can't just tell you. We have to show you, said Annie. Captain Bones gave Annie and Jack a long, hard look. You'll need a rope, said Jack. And shovels, said Annie. Captain Bones growled. Then he roared at his men. Get some rope and shovels. Aye, aye, Captain. Then throw these lubbers in the boat. We're going back to the island. Aye, aye, Captain. Back in the rowboat, Jack saw that the sky had grown even darker with clouds. The waves were bigger. The wind was howling. Gale's a-blowin', said Pinky. You'll see a gale if you don't get me the gold today, by thunder, Captain Jones shouted. Row, dogs, row! The three pirates battled the waves until the rowboat reached the island. They all piled onto the shore. Captain Bones grabbed Jack and Annie. Okay, lubbers, he said. Now show us where the treasure is. There, said Annie. She pointed to the black rock near the tip of the island. Under that rock, said Jack. Captain Bones dragged Jack and Annie down the beach to the black rock. Get to work, Captain Bones said to Pinky and Stinky. What about you, said Annie. Me? Work? Captain Bones chuckled. Jack gulped. How could they get away from him? Don't you think you should help your friends, he said. Captain Bones gave Jack a horrible grin. Nay, I'm going to hold you two till there's treasure in me hands. Chapter 8, Dig, dogs, dig. Pinky and Stinky tied their rope around the big rock. The wind howled. The two pirates pulled and pulled and pulled. They need help, said Jack. Arr, let the dogs work, growled Captain Bones. You're not very nice to them, said Annie. Who cares, roared Captain Bones. Captain, we got it, shouted Pinky. They started pulling the rock across the sand. Now let's dig where that rock was, said Jack, all of us. But Captain Bones ignored his suggestion. Dig, you dogs, dig, he shouted. Pinky and Stinky started to dig. The wind blew even harder. There was going to be a thunderstorm. Ow, I got sand in me eyes, Pinky whined. Ow, my back hurts, Stinky cried. Dig, shouted Captain Bones. He held Jack and Annie with one hand. With the other, he pulled out the gold medallion. He tossed it to the two pirates. It fell into the hole. Dig for more of these, you swine, he said. Squawk! Look, said Annie. Polly was back. She was circling above them. Go back, she squawked. Extra. Stinky and Pinky looked at the parrot. They scowled. "Dig!" shouted Captain Bones. "A big storm's coming, Captain," said Pinky. "Go back," said Polly. "The bird's an omen, Captain," shouted Stinky. "Dig, you dogs!" cried Captain Bones. "Go back!" squawked Polly. "The bird's warning us," shouted Pinky. "We've got to get to the ship before it's too late." The two pirates threw their shovels down. They started running toward the rowboat. "Mutineers, come back!" shouted Captain Bones. He dragged Jack and Annie down the beach as he ran after his men. "Stop!" But the pirates kept running. They got to the rowboat and pushed it into the sea. "Wait!" cried Captain Bones. Pinky and Stinky jumped into the boat. They started rowing. "Wait!" Captain Bones let go of Jack and Annie. He ran into the water. "Wait, you dogs, wait!" He hauled himself into the rowboat. Then the three pirates disappeared into the spray of waves. "Go back!" squawked Polly. "She means us," said Annie. Just then the storm broke over the island. The wind howled. The rain fell in buckets. "Let's go!" cried Annie. "Wait, I have to get the medallion!" shouted Jack. He ran to the hole dug by the pirates. He looked down into it. Even in the dreary light, the medallion was shining. Big, fat raindrops were falling into the hole, washing away the sand. Jack saw a patch of wood. The rain cleared away more sand, and Jack saw the top of an old trunk. He stared. Was it Captain Kidd's treasure chest? "Hurry, Jack!" cried Annie. She was halfway up the treehouse ladder. I found it, cried Jack. "I found the treasure chest." "Forget the treasure chest," said Annie. "We have to go now. The storm's getting worse." Jack kept staring at the chest. Was there gold inside? Silver? Precious gems? "Come on!" Now Annie was shouting from the treehouse window, but Jack couldn't tear himself away. He brushed the rest of the muddy sand off the chest. "Jack, forget the treasure chest," cried Annie. "Let's go." "Go back," squawked Polly. Jack looked at the parrot. She was perched on the black rock. He stared into her wise eyes. He thought he knew her from somewhere else. "Go back, Jack," she said. She sounded like a person. Okay, it was definitely time to go. Jack took one last look at the treasure chest. Then he clutched the gold medallion. He took off running toward the treehouse. His socks and rain boots were still there. He quickly pulled the boots on. He shoved the socks into his backpack. The rope ladder was dancing wildly in the wind. Jack grabbed it. The ladder swayed as Jack climbed. He was tossed this way and that, but he held on tight. At last, he pulled himself into the treehouse. "Let's go," he cried. Annie was already holding the Pennsylvania book. She pointed to the picture of Frog Creek. "I wish we could go there," she shouted. The wind was already blowing hard, but now it blew even harder. The treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still, absolutely still. All right, friends, that's all for today. Tomorrow we will read our last 2 chapters of Pirates Past Noon. That was pretty exciting. I'm glad that Jack and Annie made it away from those pirates. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.